Welcome to the Paul Gubbins Show from the basement. We're here in the basement tonight for our live streaming broadcast. We have with us Heath Dill once again.
Hello audience. Hopefully you're there.
Well, hopefully you are or you aren't. This is the Paul Gubbins Show from the basement. We call people and people every now and then call us, and right now we have 0 listeners. But we are being, the last 2 shows, even though they were done almost a week ago, have still not been added to the Smithsonian sponsored Internet Archive. And so I asked him about it. I said I've been waiting on these for 4 days.
Oh, you asked the Smithsonian?
Well, it has nothing to do with the Smithsonian. It's just I think they get a grant from the Smithsonian.
Oh, okay. What
so
you emailed somebody?
Well, I posted in a forum. I don't think they have an email address that you can email anybody, so I just posted it in a forum. I said, what's going on? And they said the guy was on vacation that normally does it. And so it'll be... So this, I don't know when this one will be up for public download. So if you're not listening to it right now, you're SOL, as they say in the auto shop.
Mine's not echoing. I don't know.
I know.
Is yours?
I can make you echo.
Oh, wait. Hello. I don't hear myself
At all?
No.
Should.
Is my microphone on? Chickadee, check. Okay, now I'm getting through to me. Hello.
I think you just need to be turned up more.
Whoa.
Is that too loud?
Dear Lord.
Okay. I think everything's A-okay. Okay. Tonight on the show, we have we got different things we can do.
So is the music going as we talk? Like, is it being recorded too? Or do we just hear it?
Is there, you hear it?
I hear music.
Nobody else does.
Okay.
Just you. There.
Ah! Hello.
Okay, that could have been the cause of some of your... Okay, we need to get something going, cranking with this show. So we not lose audience interest before we even have any.
That's right.
Okay, I'm going to move my stuff around here a little bit. Okay, we're gonna...
So, Paul, I told my boss today that I was going to be on this radio show, and he said he might check it out, so we might get 1 listener.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. Of course, we might not.
Still no email.
Oh, you get email?
Well, now I've got them all set up, for... Okay, let me discuss for a moment. Did you see the new look of my website?
No, that's great, though. You got black and blue and green and yellow and orange.
Right now we're looking at www.rockmessiah.com. And the possible topics for tonight's show were this man named Gerrymander. He's an anti-modern technology guy. I've got a link to a Google search and some real audio interviews I couldn't get to work and some transcripts of interviews of his. And also we were thinking about discussing this urgent health bulletin. This guy says, I haven't had a glass of water in 20 years.
And boy, am I thirsty.
But it's, he says... Is your cholesterol high enough to avoid heart attacks and strokes? Are you getting enough sun to prevent the world's most dreaded cancers? Are you exercising so hard that it's hardening your arteries? Are you eating enough salt to prevent high blood pressure? Are you eating enough bacon and eggs to ward off macular degeneration? Got arthritis? Guess what? Animal fat reverses the damage in 24 hours. And then he says,
Guess what else? I'm dyslexic.
I don't think there's any cure for that here. Okay, that's one topic we were thinking about discussing. And there's this global warming guy, Patrick Michaels. If you've been listening to the radio lately, you've heard his interview on Berkeley radio, where he's a crazy seeming sort of guy. And then we've got some sound effects from video games.
That's awesome.
There. Congo Bongo. What's that one? The Roar of the Beast. Let's see what this is. Burger Time. Everybody loves Burger Time.
I like cheeseburgers. It's kind of Pac-Man-esque.
Wait, you can hear it, I guess, over there.
I can hear it.
Okay. Joust. We've got Joust on the show tonight. Welcome, Joust. Good to see you. Major League Baseball. You know, I once told a really funny joke.
Well, that one just kind of keeps going on and on, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it also, my screen blinked. Did you see that when it happened?
No, I didn't.
Maybe I just blinked my eyes. Okay, and I think that was, let me see, is that all the topics? All the topics. And if for anybody that you're not listening now, but if you're so interested, we are showing up on the Shoutcast search. If you search political or apolitical or just, you know, then we'll show up and you can listen to the show from the shoutcast.com, the official Nullsoft website.
No, wasn't there something about Talk Monkey too?
Talk Monkey, I changed that.
Oh, okay, so it's no longer
a viable form of searching. Okay, we've covered some introductory things here. Heath and I have. It's pretty. After you do 3 or 4 shows, what more do you do? We need to call somebody. I'm sure that's what we need to do. And
so I'm taking it you didn't get that phone number to President Bush's cell phone.
No, I'm working on that.
Working on that one?
Working on that. Yeah. Okay, so in the absence of any reasonable content, we will play a short song while we try to think about who we're going to call.
That girl's weird. She's getting weirder all the time. She once was a lover, but she was not mine. That girl's short on cigarettes. I smoked them up since we were friends. And that girl's round 18 years old. So I remember, and so you know, that girl's mine. That girl's fresh, yeah, she's all cleaned up, and it don't matter where she was, and that girl's nice to look at. She's not too skinny, and she's not too fat. That girl's good, and she's good to go. And I will take her, and she will go. back of mine.
Hello, and welcome back to the program.
Hello.
We're
glad to be here.
going to attempt to call a fellow named Alan Moore. Alan and I are old friends. Some of the music we play on the program is old music that we used to play together. Let's see what he thinks about being on here. The phone's ringing. Hello, is Alan there?
Hello?
Hello, is Alan there? Okay, thanks. Hey, Alan. Hey, this is Paul. How you doing? Hey, can you hold on for a second? Hey, you know I've got a radio show now. Have you been listening? I'm streaming live at the moment. We have 0 of 10 listeners. And but something, I changed my setup a little bit, and something happened with the phone. Okay, let me put you on. Let me put the phone back into its radio position, and see if you can hear me. It seemed like your wife couldn't hear me when she answered the phone. Okay, hold on. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound like you're over a CB, though.
Do I? Like it's too, how about now?
It's a little better.
Okay, how about now?
That's normal.
Okay, I just was too loud.
Yeah.
I had, I changed some settings. Okay, if you're just joining us, which you're not, because I can see who's joining us. We've got Alan Moore on the phone with us. We've got Heath Dill here in the studio. Do you know Heath
Alan.
Dill?
I don't think I know Alan. Alan, do you know me?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe if I saw you, I don't recognize you.
He used to hang around with Kevin Thornton, always had a strange goatee.
That kind of describes everyone who hung out with Kevin.
I don't think I had the goatee at the time, actually. So maybe I was the one without the goatee.
He was the one without the goatee.
Oh, okay.
You know, we've had a lot of exciting times on this show, tonight not being one of them. We've got some dedicated listeners, some people that say they like hearing me talk to people on the phone because it's like they get to listen in on an intimate conversation.
That sounded really sexy. Don't do that again.
So what have you been up to? Alan Moore is who we have on the phone right now. Hello, Alan from Nashville.
Hello. I'm on the phone right now.
He's the owner operator of a website called lovelabormusic.com that reviews home recorded music. And we do record the show and we put them up the past episodes. So even though nobody's listening now, they'll listen later. Just to assure you that I'm not a lunatic.
I don't know if that's proof.
So how's your website doing?
It's it's doing all right.
Yeah.
Had a lot of submissions lately.
Yeah.
I haven't really reviewed too many of them, but they're coming in.
Now, Alan, is that something that you can? Is that something you do as your job, or is it a pastime hobby, or?
It's more of a tax write-off, really, than anything.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't make any money at it right now.
Uh-huh.
Do you run it as a business?
No, not really.
So it's not really a tax write-off either.
Well, no. But, you know.
Have you?
Sort of a way to... What? It's just a way to, get rid of extra money
Yeah. Well,
that I didn't, take up space in my bank account.
Hey, all right.
can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, we do every time we have a caller, we play a song and they sing and make up words.
Uh-oh.
How do you feel about that, Alan?
Let me get something a little bit more. Are you ready?
Sort of. Am I supposed to sing now?
Yeah, you're supposed to jump in any time.
Oh, okay.
A-E-I-O-U, and that is the vowels.
That's the Indian version. I had balsam vinegar on my toast for lunch.
What's?
Lunch, great.
All right.
I'm getting
I think that I couldn't hear him singing because all I could hear was that, and I don't know if that's the way it's going to be recorded.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. He was kind of cutting in and out. I'm not
Okay.
sure exactly how any of this works.
Are you on a cell phone? No.
No.
We called you. I know.
Actually, I would need your help more for technical support here, because doing a radio show like this is a complicated endeavor.
Right.
Getting most of the echo off the phones is hard to do.
That's true.
And
You have to get away from the mic, I guess.
well, I mean, I've got it. The way this all started, we got new phones that have a jack on the side, and I thought, well, I can run that through my soundboard.
And that birthed an idea in Paul Gubbins' head, which is expanded within... When did you get those phones? A week and a half ago.
About a week and a half ago.
And so far you've done... This is your fifth or
I
sixth
think it's
show?
my 6th or 7th show.
Yeah, see, that's... I'm starting to... I'm actually fairly new friends with Paul. I've known him for a while, but just recently have we started actually hanging out, and I'm starting to already understand that things can expand quickly in the mind of Paul Gubbins.
Oh, yeah.
And be birthed quickly as well. So, Alan, how do you know Paul?
Let me think. I guess it goes back to the summer of 1996. And I was at Denny's with Kevin Thornton.
Oh, hey. All right. A common place for us all.
Exactly.
With a
On
common
Green
person
River
for us all.
Yeah. Not at 41, Green River Road.
Okay, yeah.
And I think Kevin had to go or something and hang out with cooler people than me.
Hey, that may have been me. I don't know. But,
It probably was.
oh, okay. I don't know. I'm probably not any cooler than anybody. But,
You're cooler than Alan.
sorry, Alan. But you know what? Actually, it's becoming very uncool to be so cool. So you're cooler than me now.
For me. I guess so. It's kind of flip-flop.
That's the way it's gone lately. It's the X generation trick. Because if you flip the X upside down, you still have X. Deep thoughts.
I guess it depends on the font, though.
I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, you met him at Denny's.
Well,
Denny's, yeah.
Oh, Paul. It's Paul's show, and Paul wants to say something, so he's probably getting pissed at me for drinking all the coffee.
no, that's fine. I mean, although the show is titled "The Paul Gubbins Show from the Basement," it is not centered around my life.
I was just trying to fill up dead air.
I know, and it was a noble effort.
It's all right.
And but let's move on.
Okay.
Okay, we have with us. If you're just tuning in, and I'll check to see if anyone is. And you can't tune in, can you? Because you have dial-up.
Yeah, that would kind of ruin the show. I might improve the show. I don't know.
It might. Alan is hey, Alan, what's your favorite chipset?
My favorite chipset, not anything by Via. Yeah, and actually, Toll House cookies. A good set of chips there.
Okay.
And yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Where to go with that, really?
Hey, okay, I got a technical question for you.
All right.
Are you familiar with my Yamaha 1204 MC series mixing console? It's the same board that they had when you did the sound at the coffee house, except they had a 24-channel one or an 18-channel one.
Right. Well, actually, later they had an Allen and Heath. But yeah.
Okay. Now I've got the Echo 1
Right.
going through your Furman reverb echo thing.
Okay.
Okay. Now, but I have the monitor for any studio guests that are not the engineer, myself, and the phone out going through FB1 and FB2.
Okay.
Is there any way... There's no way to put the echo on those for the people monitoring or the person on the phone. So if I do a spooky voice, only I and the downloaders on the World Wide Web hear it. Am I correct in saying that?
You could run the output of the reverb back into a channel instead of into the effects return,
Hey.
and then you could send.
And I could just bring it up when I wanted it.
Exactly.
Hold on, just 1 second. Keep things going, Heath.
So anyway, Paul's looked up a few things before I got here today on the internet and things to talk about. He was kind of showing me a couple of them before we started this evening. One of which was some guy that was spieling about global warming and how we've all, or maybe not we've all, but the media has kind of turned it into something to fear, and he says it's not. What's your comment on that? Do you fear global warming?
Not in particular. I mean, I'll probably be dead by the time anything happens out of it.
Yeah.
If it does. But it's one of those kind of things that you feel what you want to feel about it based on your political biases, and there's enough people on both sides to make you feel all right about what you think, if that makes any sense.
It does. I absolutely understand that. You can go to the left, or you can go to the right, or you can stand in the middle. There's people all around you.
I'm getting some feedback.
I'm getting some major feedback. Alan, are you getting feedback?
Ow, what?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, now let me explain to you what happened there. I ran it back in, but I'm having to turn all the knobs possible just to get some, you know what I mean, to get it distributed to everybody.
Yeah, just don't turn off the effects bend on that channel.
That's what I did, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now you still hear reverb now, right?
No.
You don't hear any reverb on your voice?
No.
I don't hear any reverb on his voice either.
Okay. Wait.
Theory.
Whoa.
Okay, but I don't know. This is pointless. Wasting valuable network radio time.
Yeah. Oh.
Son of a...
I just about, ate the carpet there.
Uh-oh. So, Alan, what do you do besides the balancing act?
Well,
for everyday life, for your work, career, job, bring home money.
Well, I do work at the county government,
Hey.
Livingston County, Tennessee.
All right.
Which, is to say I go there and get paid for being there, but I don't,
Don't actually physically lift a finger.
Yeah, it's government work.
I actually am a government worker myself, so I'm understanding you.
All right.
Yes.
You know, it's not about getting the job done. It's about wrapping it up in enough red tape that it's not your problem anymore.
That's right.
That's really the trick.
I'm kind of on a different scale, I think, possibly than what maybe you are. I work for a wastewater facility, which is a government job, and I work
In its purest form.
Yes. Well, we send it back out in its purest form. But yeah, I'm a laboratory worker there, and I do get to see a little bit more of a taste of the way the government works.
Right.
In that position than what I might working at a hospital or who knows what.
Okay. You know, these, I always forget, but all these segments always sound better later when you listen to them. Because right now I'm thinking this is pretty lame.
I kind of feel like I'm on college radio.
Well, you kind of are. I mean, not that it's anybody's fault that it's lame.
Yeah.
I think it's my fault. Okay. How about this? You ready for something here? Something kind of exciting? Okay, see if you can name what video game this is from.
All right.
Okay. Let's see here. Could you hear that?
Yeah.
You know what video game it was from?
You know, I'm going to say that sounds Nintendo era, and I was kind of stuck on my Texas Instruments around then, so...
It was Crystal Castles. Hat.
Crystal Castles.
Hat acquired. It's when you got the hat in Crystal Castles. I'm not familiar with it. Okay. At what stage in the game of Frogger do you hear this sound? Okay. You know?
That was, when you start.
Yeah, when you put the coin in. It's pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Okay, here, what game is this?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Q*bert.
Q*bert.
Okay, what version of Pac-Man
All right.
is this from?
That'd be the original Pac.
Super Pac-Man.
Super Pac.
Yeah, Super Pac-Man. I'm sorry, I just made this worse. Okay. Well, so, Alan.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of video games, I'm currently working on developing one myself.
Yes?
Yes, it's going to be a text adventure in the classic style.
What's going to be the theme?
It's set in 1809, in Spain during the Napoleonic Wars.
Sounds like
Believe it or not.
like an ambitious pursuit.
Yeah, well, I'm about a third of the way done with it, but it's pretty tricky.
Where do you get your source material?
Mostly Wikipedia.
You know, I've been going on there changing everything ahead of you.
Really? I wondered about some of that stuff,
Could you have your kids quiet down, please?
I don't know. I don't have much luck with that normally.
Lay down.
Well,
You need to get.
I may have to go.
Okay, well, hold on, we can't go yet.
Okay.
Alan, you're stuck now.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that music right there means
Are you looking for
that we're going along in this segment.
peace?
Okay, well,
Are you
thanks a lot, Alan, for being our guest.
Alan, it's really nice meeting you.
Hey, it's nice meeting you, Heath.
And you can catch this show on the reruns on the streaming audio, streaming the Noel Soft Shoutcast from my static Sigacom IP address. If you're from Sigacom and you're listening, please ignore that last statement. Okay. We'll see you later, Alan.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Come and go like a thief in the night. An honest man, hard to find. An honest man, hard to find. Honest man, hard to find. An honest man is hard to find. You've got money on your mind. You're not careful, it will rob you blind. You had something that was better than gold. Honest man, hard to hold. Are you looking for a place of peace? Are you looking for a life of ease? Baby, you know I could be your friend. Are you looking for an honest man? Are you looking for an honest man? Are you looking for an honest man? Are you looking for an honest man?
I don't know. Hello. Welcome back. Hey, Steve. Wait, Steve? There you are. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Am I on the air?
You are on the air.
Hello. Are there any special people in the studio today?
We have Heath Dill.
Hello, Heath.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
It's going well.
I can't get enough.
We were just complaining about how the show was kind of slow today.
Yeah.
We had Alan Moore on earlier. Always an exciting. Well, he's not exciting. That was the problem.
Hey, let me tell you something.
What's that?
We're trying to listen to the show, and there's music on right now, and not our voices.
Well, it takes a minute
Yeah.
for it to actually for it to catch up.
Have you? When did you log on?
Just now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What? So we're not live right now. We're
No, you two keep going. Okay.
I'm hearing reverb now.
Hey, Paul.
I know. Just you
Oh,
two keep.
Paul's gone.
Oh, okay.
This is Heath. Who?
Okay, Heath, just tell him there's nobody at the door.
Oh, hey, Paul. There's nobody at the door.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
Oh, cool. Hey. That was neat. Your wife was on for a minute. Paul, she says to tell you nobody's at the door.
Okay.
Okay. Steve Cefalo.
Hi.
This on the Paul Gubbins in the Basement show on this wonderful March 10th.
Are you sure I'm on the air right now?
I'm positive. What song are you hearing right now?
I don't know your songs.
Is it like, are you looking for a place of peace? Does it sound like that?
I don't know, but now I hear our voices from when I first called.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're on a slight delay, so we can cut out all the bull crap.
Yeah? Oh, whoa, and you can cut out all the swear words.
Well, we really can't cut out all the swear words.
Do you have any problem with that so far?
Just people swearing. It's not really a problem, though, since we're not regulated by the FCC.
That's right.
Yet.
I think we've established that.
Okay.
So, do you have any topics?
We do.
That you're discussing.
We if you check my homepage on my website, are you there?
Amy is.
Okay, possible topics for tonight's show.
Okay.
This guy named Jerry Mander. He wrote a book, and I'm really not knowledgeable on any of these topics. But Jerry Mander wrote this book called 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television.
Okay.
And he's all about eliminating television and most other modern technologies.
Okay.
And I looked through some interviews of his, and I couldn't get him on the show. So
Did you try?
no,
Why don't you try to call famous people?
I
I
should.
That's probably why you couldn't get him on the show. It sounds like somebody that we might actually be able to get on the show. Gerrymander. At least we could get somebody to pretend like they're Gerrymander. Steve, you are now Gerrymander.
Okay.
No, okay, I'm just, whatever.
So do you have any idea how he plans on going about doing that?
Well, he doesn't have any real plan.
No.
He just says he used to be in advertising.
Okay.
And he got real into it and into he says the minutia of learning how to manipulate people's mind through images.
Oh, okay.
And then he turned on himself, and said hey, that ain't cool.
I don't want to be putting no more naked women in an ice cube.
What are you talking about? I just tossed a tail into that.
Okay, well, listen. When I was in college, there was this stupid class I had to take one time, and they actually did a little bit of a research on advertising in magazines.
Uh-huh.
And one of the pictures that I got was a glass of some sort of liquor, and the ice cubes. They said look closely, and there was actually you could make out the silhouette of a naked woman in the ice cube, and they said that was part of the subconscious can attach to that and make you want to buy the alcohol because you think you might look that way or be able to. I don't know. Anyway, I don't mean to be boring.
You guys just having a good time talking to each other.
Sorry, Steve.
Okay, and
so,
then
Gerrymander.
The other topic was this guy, this medical doctor who says that we all need to drink less water, eat more bacon and eggs and salt, and and he has this whole list of things, and he says that sun, if you get enough sun, he talks about the lifeguards in Australia, how they have the lowest cancer rates, melanoma rates of anybody. And they're out in the sun all the time. And he says the people who always get cancer are these indoorsy, pasty types. Yeah. And then there's this guy that was talking about global warming.
Uh-huh.
And his name was Patrick something. Ooh.
Patrick Michael, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He says, stop worrying about it.
There was a John Stossel thing on 2020 about that, how global warming is a myth.
Well, what he's saying is it's not a myth, that global warming is happening and man is causing it. And it's preventing an ice age.
Yeah.
It's actually, that he's saying it's good, and that we shouldn't worry about it and everything's going to be okay.
Huh. I'm convinced of that. No. Well,
that was pretty easy.
Let me tell you something. Okay, yes, I came home after we had that John Titor discussion.
Yes.
And I'm freaked. I looked it up and I thought I was pretty obsessed for a little while. I thought it was a very cool idea, and I really wanted to believe it was true. Then I looked on the website, and it's weird. I get an icky feeling, and I backed away from the computer, turned it off. Yeah, it's a little. It's a little dark.
Yeah, it is. It is weird. Yeah, I was kind of freaked out by it for a while, and then enough time went by, and I forgot about it.
Is it? It seems like if you know how common is how commonly is he known?
It's a good question. He's been on. Somebody was on Coast to Coast with Art Bell one time talking about him. But besides that, I don't know. Do you know who John Titor is?
Speaking of the dark, I feel like I'm in the dark right now about all this. This is somebody who wrote about what? What's the subject?
John Titor is a man from the future. You might know more about this than me right now, Steve, because you've been reading about him.
Yeah.
He was going to 1975 to pick up an IBM computer that they needed to fix some problem with Unix, which is the operating system.
Mm-hmm.
And he stopped here on his way there and posted on some internet forums.
Yeah.
And made a few predictions, all of which so far have come true.
Yeah.
And he claims he was staying with his parents while he was here. Like, he showed up as an older guy, and was like, "Hey, I'm your son from the future." And his self from the present went like, "Who's that man?"
Yeah.
But a lot of what he said, it was like it was in 2000.
Did he come in a spacesuit and play a
Van Halen?
So there's people actually talking about this as if it was fact. I mean, somebody came from the future.
It's
That's the freaky thing about it, is that it's actually very convincing, and it seems like, okay, this is what I concluded. Like, it's a really well done, sick joke, and in the wrong hands, it could be very dangerous.
Do you think it's like a retroactive joke, like it's a new joke, but they've acted like it happened in the year 2000, so people like us don't know the difference?
Yeah, I thought about that, but I mean, they're playing. Okay, if it's a joke, I mean, they're playing with nuclear war, which is dangerous. And really it's a sort of like, in my opinion, it's a sort of a terrorism, like, because it's trying to manipulate people into believing certain stuff by threats of like a war, a civil war, and a nuclear war with Russia and China, or it's real, which is actually really freaky,
Wait, when you say it's real, then that means that there is a possibility that this man came from the future to what? The year 2000?
Yes.
I'm just saying that no, I'm not going to say anything too weird on the radio. Okay.
You should say something too weird on the radio.
It might liven up the show. Maybe we might get a listener. Wait, are you guys listening?
We have one listener.
Do we?
Yeah, is it you?
It's Amy? Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Amy. Of course, she won't hear that for 5 minutes, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything to you.
Okay, now, you know what I think is possible? That it was somebody who had insider information at GE, or not GE, but whatever that atomic lab was. That one of his predictions was that this certain atomic lab was going to come out in the next year and say that they've discovered this new thing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's like the thing that clinches it. That makes you go like, how, what, whoa? Yeah. Now, if he was just somebody that had some sort of information from that place, he could make that prediction. And once you believe that, like, he kind of has you,
Yeah.
He talks about political unrest during the elections, the civil war that starts in 2005, city versus country.
Yeah.
Russia aids the country and they win against the city, like red states against blue states.
Yep.
Or United States of Canada against Jesus land, as I've seen it described. Just all these. And it's kind of happening, but I think but the one thing that they say that he lacked was a post 9/11 worldview.
Yeah.
But 30 years from now, who's going to have a post 9? Like, do we have a post Pearl Harbor worldview?
Oh, I have something. You just reminded me of something. I'm sorry, this is kind of off the topic.
Are you running water?
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm washing some brushes. Okay, it mentioned the tsunami and a sort of prediction of the tsunami, which reminded me that today I went to UDS, which is a fine grocery establishment, and I noticed that I was looking for something tasty to drink in the refrigerated beverage section, and there was a Sobe drink called Tsunami, and so I bought it. It tastes like a dreamsicle.
As tsunamis are.
So that's a fun fact. And then I looked on. So there's my fun fact. But I looked on the label, and it was definitely made and shelved before the tsunami. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Would you have bought it otherwise?
No, I don't really want to drink something that tastes like a dreamsicle, but I just bought it just for the novelty of it being called Tsunami. It's like naming a drink 9/11.
You may be onto something there, Steve.
I'm just naming a drink Hell.
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
What would that taste like?
A dreamsicle.
It's so dreamy. I just love hell.
So,
Have you tried hell lately?
So, is this the first show you've had since the last time I was there?
I think so, yes.
It's been 4 or 5 days.
I do have my stepmother is crazy about the show.
Uh-huh.
She's addicted to it, listens to it all the time, although she's not listening now.
Way to go, stepmother.
Other than that, I know of no other fans.
Well, I feel like I've been on too long, and that you could call somebody more interesting than myself.
Well, we called Alan Moore earlier, and he wasn't.
Steve, you're doing a fine job.
Oh, thanks.
I guess we could call Mike Lyerly.
Yeah, that would be great. I would like to hear Mike.
Okay. Although, I don't know. Okay, I found his phone number.
You know who would be great to call? Mike Shaw.
It's true.
Brian Sigler, have you gotten him on?
No, I mean, I haven't had the show, and we got 6 minutes left now. Maybe we'll run into a second hour, I don't know.
Yeah. He'd be hilarious. You should try him.
Brian Sigler.
Yeah.
How about Eli Milholland?
Yeah, he'd be good.
Does he live in Kentucky?
Eli? Yeah, he's in Sufi Nun Squad.
No, he lives in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Just looking at the area codes. Okay, here's what we're gonna do, folks, friends, neighbors. What? I think. Hello?
Hi.
Do you hear that?
I think that is the door.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Trey, cool.
I'm gonna go get the door.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
All right. So you want to keep me on the line, or what?
Yeah, you just talk to
Steve, hey.
Okay.
You stay with me until he goes and gets the door.
Okay, what's up, Heath?
I'm here, alive and well, thank God, and hopefully he'll keep me alive another day, join my children.
That'd
So,
be cool.
I think somebody has arrived. Maybe it looks kind of like, hey, Chris Dickens is here.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Chris. He's got a drill in his hand.
Returning Paul's drill.
Oh, okay. Do you want to say hi to Steve Cefalo?
Okay, yeah.
You want to?
You gonna hang out? Well, I guess for a minute.
Okay. Wait. Now we've got Chris. Do you have anything to say to Chris, Steve?
I absolutely do.
Oh, actually, I'm losing Steve.
Wait,
Hi.
Steve.
No, don't lose me.
No, we're not losing you.
Hello,
Okay.
Steve.
I lost Steve.
Well, you're gonna lose everything here in a second. Okay.
Use your butt.
Hold on. Wait,
Chris?
What?
okay, me,
I don't know if my mic's on, Steve.
I
Okay.
don't think he is.
It's okay.
Be patient.
I can hear you anyway.
Okay, great.
Cool. Chris,
Hold on. Yeah.
I guess I don't have to yell.
That's true.
Chris,
he's on these speakers now.
do you, were you ever able to get a hold of a flimsy tape?
I have been so busy that I have not even tried yet. But I know where one is. Steve, or you're Steve. Jason Seidenstinger has one.
Awesome.
And he's going to loan it to me long enough to put it onto a CD, of which I will make a copy for you and anyone else out there that wants to listen to it. Which is...
So, are you putting the whole thing on?
It's
not all good.
Well, I beg to differ.
Okay, so you like the whole...
I love it. It's the best thing ever.
I might like it. It's been enough distance that maybe I'll be, you know, I don't know.
Less retarded.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have a vocabulary.
Speaking of making copies of things, Chris, I'd like to get a copy of that. Some of your prank calls.
Yeah, I have some of those. Is this on now?
Yes, you're on. Everybody's on.
So, yeah, I have some of those at home in Philly.
I also, if I could find it,
where I supposedly live.
Chris, if I could find it, I have you know the first song we did?
What? Who was that?
Might have been me. I don't.
How'd that?
Hi.
Hello?
Carry on. Carry on, caller.
This is the first song that we did, Chris.
I don't know which one that would be.
It was called The Man.
Oh yeah. How'd it go?
What? He goes.
Is that it?
No, that's Nobody Cares.
Oh, that's Nobody Cares.
It goes. It goes. Wait, here we go.
Oh yeah, this show just got dumber, didn't it?
I lost a few IQ points just then.
If you're just tuning in, this is the Paul Gubbins from the Basement Show. It's dumber by the minute. Carry on. You were right here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but yeah, but I don't know if that's on tape, but I know I have that. It was the first time that we ever played. I mean, they ever practiced.
Yeah.
We made up a whole song and recorded it.
Yeah, I remember. We didn't have lyrics or anything, did we?
No, but yeah, we did.
Didn't Jonathan add those later?
Maybe he did, but
or maybe he was probably writing them like there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like while we were doing it.
But it's actually probably one of our best songs, and we never ever played it live.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think that's on the tape? I can't remember. I only listened to it that one time the other night. I mean,
the one that goes down, 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 down.
That just sounds like garbage right now.
It's the one that Jonathan says, "Let's get down."
Yeah, I remember playing that, and I remember writing it and everything. I just don't remember.
I remember every little piece of feedback.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Things like that. But this is getting incredibly.
Hey, Steve, are you gonna be here for the benefit show for Jonathan on the 18th? Do you think next Friday? I think it is.
Man,
just curious. I don't mean to make you feel bad if you can't.
I don't know if it's going to be
on the air.
Because I think I have all kinds of obligations, but like as far as work obligations. But if I don't, I'm going to try to do it.
Okay, that's all the time we have for you, Steve. I'm just kidding. JK.
I'm bored anyways, so it's all the time I have for you.
Hey, you know what?
Oh,
yeah.
That was a reversal.
Okay, this has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
But I am going to approach Andy Fuller. He's getting 2 T1s, down at his coffee shop.
Uh-huh.
About
those airplanes?
No. They are internet connections.
Oh. I was thinking a helium balloon.
And about setting up like a whole variety of radio servers for him, so he can stream his like shows live there. Maybe just have a microphone up in the coffee shop so that it's always on, that you can go up to if you want and talk.
Fart.
I'm bored.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. My mom doesn't know I'm here.
What?
I was just, role playing.
This is a children's show.
Hello.
It's a family show.
Okay, Steve.
Yes,
We appreciate you calling.
no problem.
And are we done with you now?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling.
Okay,
We'll talk to you
Great hearing
later.
from you.
okay.
I love you, Steve.
I love you as well.
Bye, Steve.
Bye.
Bye.
That was Steve Cefalo.
Now what are we gonna do? What's your big plan?
We had topics for tonight.
Oh,
This guy named Gerrymander. I keep bringing this stuff, but I don't know anything about any of my topics. They're just things that interested me.
okay.
4 arguments for the elimination of the television.
Ooh, that's good.
And he's a total departure from previous writing about television. This book is the first ever to advocate that the medium is not reformable. He just says, but he's against everything modern.
Wait, what's the title again?
4
Is he
arguments for the elimination of
Oh,
television.
the elimination of television.
Yeah, and
I'd like to read that.
like, and he talks about all modern technology, and somebody says, well, my child without a bone marrow transplant would die, and he says, well, we shouldn't even have that option. The question shouldn't come up. You shouldn't pose those kind of questions to individuals. We should pose them to the greater society. And I don't know how far I go with this guy.
The greater society being what?
Good point.
Are you dissenting? Ian?
I mean,
Counter argument?
I think I would be with him on the TV, But I think he's the kind of guy that lives in a cabin and he doesn't have a computer, which puts him on my off list right there.
So he's not.
But we
listening
can bash
to this
him
show.
because he won't listen to us. You can't hear us, Gerrymander.
And he won't do television interviews. Like he refuses to have anything to do with the medium. Which hey,
that's nice.
more power to you, you know.
sure.
But no power to you.
Yeah. Do you have that joke pre-planned?
No. See, I'm just starting to get warmed up.
Where's
and
the?
we're out
Where
of
was
time.
that? I like that.
Okay, we're gonna do a brief song while we regroup. Okay, and I mean a brief song.
What did you say to me? What did you do? I was unconscious too. What did you bring to me? What was your gift? This can't be all that it is. Wise men, they don't speak. They don't even say a word. Wise men, they keep silent. At least that's what I've heard.
Well, we're back. This is the Paul Gubbins Show from the basement, hour 2.
Yeah.
We have with us in the studio, we have Heath Dill,
Hello, Paul. It's nice to be here.
and we have Christopher Dickens,
Hey,
and we have Gerrymander.
Hello, this is Gerrymander.
What would Gerrymander sound like? I don't know.
He's sitting right next to you.
Hey, Jerry, it's great to see you. I guess I could fake to be him since he'll never listen.
that music.
Okay.
Hello, this is Gerrymander. I am really here.
Is he Indian?
See.
I'm a little bit of everything.
This is politically incorrect.
Okay,
Gerrymander has a chapter in his book called Artificial Unusualness.
Yes, I would like to speak about.
I can't do it.
Impossible
Laughing
Thoughts.
at me.
That's the postscript.
Impossible thoughts.
I don't know. I mean, what can you say in a chapter like
I
that?
know. I'm with you. Oh, we've got some. Okay.
Do we have any listeners, Paul?
one listener. Hello out there.
Hi, Amy. Hello, Mr. Follows.
Okay, in this bit, I'm gonna play a little bit of an interview that I got from the.
Can you do that?
Internet Archive. I can.
That's so cool.
What?
That's cool. It's really cool that you can do that.
That's all right.
If I can remember where I put it.
Artificially unusual, if you ask me.
To Berkeley Groks, while there is a general consensus within the scientific community that global warming is caused by anthropogenic means, there are, of course, many scientists who also feel that the uncertainty in these theories require a closer examination of the causes of global warming and the human impact. Well, joining us today is Professor Patrick Michaels, professor at the University of Virginia and a senior fellow in environmental studies at the Cato Institute, to talk about his concerns on these theories. Professor Michaels, thanks for joining us today on Berkeley Groks.
Hey, listen, if I got your introduction right, you're trying to say that Pat Michaels doesn't think the planet's warmer or that human beings haven't caused a substantial portion of the warming of the last portion of the 20th century, right? I have never written that, at least not within memory.
I guess what I mean is that you have different opinions, and perhaps you would like to explain them to
No, I have an opinion that is based upon fact, or rather, I will just merely give you facts, and you can deal with them as you will about global warming. Number one fact is you do have to understand that global warming is what I call an issue in public science, and public science issues compete with each other for your money, i.e. your taxpayer support for research and technology, etc. And we compete, global warming people compete with AIDS, we compete with the National Cancer Institute, all this good stuff. Nobody ever was successful in that competition by going to Washington and saying, my issue actually isn't that much of a problem, or it might be overblown. You'll never get support that way. You have to paint issues in the direst and starkest of terms, and that's what happened. And then the political process rewards itself for having saved us from certain gloom and doom. I like to watch Californians being used for their naive greenness. There's a guy that's really using you right now, and you're just eating it up. His name is John McCain. The hearings he's been holding on global warming are more one-sided than anything I ever saw in the Clinton and Gore administration, and if you want to know why he's doing it, I'll tell you. He's running for president, and he's running for president, or for the nomination for the presidency against Bill Frist, the majority leader of the Senate, possibly George Allen from Virginia, or Rudy Giuliani from New York. Those people are going to lock up the South and the Northeast for convention delegates. He has to find a place to get delegates. The place he's looking is California, so that's why he's Mr. Green. Global warming is a terrible problem. I'm going to save you all, because he knows that out there it's in the water. Okay.
All right. And how about Arnold Schwarzenegger?
What about Arnold? I mean, Arnold is kind of a green Republican. The only way you can work with the California political scene is to be green. And I forgot to mention the other aspect of global warming that you have to be aware of, which is, judging from the introduction to this interview, you seem to have no critical insight into the issue whatsoever, nor do most other people in the media. And so what they will do is they'll take all these gloom and doom pronouncements and accept them uncritically. Just remember, the New York Times in 2000 had to recant a story on the melting of the area around the North Pole. And the New York Times could make a mistake like that. I assure you, Berkeley Groks can do it.
Oh, I'm sure we have made mistakes, but I guess we're looking at an overall trend that we're examining here. Well, first of all, maybe you could tell us what exactly is global warming in your own words.
Well, what everybody's concerned about is the fact that human beings burn a lot of fossil fuel, and in doing so, they increase the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere slightly. It's been suspected, I think, for about 130 years now, that if you did enough of that, you should ultimately see a signature in the surface temperature of the planet, and that signature would reveal itself as an inordinate warming of very cold and dry air more than anything else. And indeed, if you look in the last half of the 20th century, if you map the temperature changes around the globe, you'll see that the largest warming is in the winter, and it's in Siberia, which is very, very dry, and in northwestern North America, which is very, very dry. That's where we have enough records to actually make reasonable statements about this. So you have a human-induced greenhouse warming. And now, wait a minute, I'm going to tell you three words that's going to, some of your listeners are going to throw the radio away, some of them are going to go to another station, and some of them are actually going to say, wait, I want to hear more. The three words are, get over it. You can't stop it. It's not that large. Here's why I say get over it. Because we have built, the scientific community has built a jillion computer models to study how the temperature of the atmosphere should change as carbon dioxide increases. And there have been what I would call mega studies of these models, meta-analyses, if you will. And what you see is that the central tendency for these models is this. Once warming starts, not long after it starts, it takes place at a constant rate, not an ever-increasing rate. And we know that these cold, dry air masses have shown this signature warming for decades. And so, therefore, you know the rate of warming for the future, don't you? Because the central tendency of the models is once it starts and establishes itself, it's constant. It's not an exponential increase. It's not a runaway greenhouse effect. That's impossible on this planet. I'll be happy to tell you why. But no, it works out to about 1.5 to 1.7 degrees Celsius per half century. Big deal. Get over it, okay? I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong number. 0.75 to 0.85 degrees Celsius per half century. 1.5 to 1.7 per century. Now, in the course of the last century, the last 100 years, we also had a 0.75 degree warming. That's the same amount we're expecting in the next 50 years. What happened? Well, let's examine what happened with that 0.75 of a degree warming. Let's look at the United States. Lifespan doubled. Life expectancy doubled. Our main crop, corn, the crop yield quintupled. They went up 500%, and wealth got spread throughout the population. Global warming only had a partial cause of one of those, the increase in corn yields, but it sure as heck didn't stop the other. And if you think that a warming of similar magnitude spread over half the time is going to all of a sudden reverse all that progress and all that technology, you're hopelessly naive. We will just continue to go on and adapt as we have.
All right, so you mentioned that that you feel that it's impossible for global warming to suddenly become an exponential effect. One of the concerns is the thermohaline current over the North America and the European areas.
You're watching movies. You're not looking at reality. Changes in salinity are very, very slight. And I will offer you a peek at the recent scientific literature. Perhaps you were trying to tell me that, of course, that global warming is going to cause an ice age. Well, if you actually read the scientific literature instead of looking at that silly movie The Day After Tomorrow, you might see the quaternary science review paper that just came out by Bill Rudiman, who is like a big name in paleoclimate. You know what it says? It says that because of the development of civilization and the emission of the deforestation of Europe that occurred several thousand years ago, that human activity prevented the Earth from lapsing back into an ice age. In other words, Rudiman argues that we would already be halfway back to the next ice age if it weren't for human beings influencing the climate. What do you think of that?
There could be some point to that.
Well, that's not quite exactly what I've heard coming out of the radio. I saw not one piece of coverage of that story. That guy was the department chairman here at UVA, and this is a pretty prestigious department of environmental sciences. He's on all kinds of big panels. And why did people avoid this story? Because it would make them look bad, wouldn't it?
All right, so let's just look at some of the evidences that scientists over years have presented in argument that humans are responsible for global warming.
Carbon dioxide is going up in the atmosphere.
Right.
Carbon dioxide absorbs infrared radiation. It should preferentially warm cold, dry air. And, by the way, in a greenhouse change, you also see a drop in stratospheric temperature, not a rise. That's just the way the greenhouse effect works. And, indeed, you do see drops in stratospheric temperature concurrent with the warming of the dry, cold surface air. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's over. And, like I said, get over it, because you now know how much it's going to warm in the future, unless the central tendency of those billions of dollars worth of climate models is wrong, and you can't do anything about it. What do you propose to do to stop this, sir? I'd like to hear your proposal.
Well, I mean, before we have a solution, I think we should have a consensus whether humans really are.
Of course they are. I just told you why. I mean, right. How much further do we have to go?
Okay, but to what extent can the damage be in
what
the future?
Damage?
Well, so
how do you know there's a net damage?
So there is a well-known graph that's going around that shows a strong correlation between CO2 concentration and the average temperature of the planet over the last couple thousand years. I think we've just established
that over the last 10 minutes, haven't we?
Right, but then in the last 100 years, there's been a 30% rise in CO2 concentrations, a very sharp spike in comparison to the natural geological records we have for the last 2,000 years. And
I dearly wish you had been you be a little bit more current with the scientific literature. Take a look at Ruddiman's paper, where he argues that the background concentration would actually be closer to 245 parts per million rather than 280 that is normally assumed, and that at that concentration we would be about 2 degrees colder, C, globally. We would be on our way to an ice age. So, what are you complaining about?
Well, do we know what causes an ice age?
No.
But is that evidence to suggest that we had prevented one?
We know what temperature the Earth has to be to cause to be in an ice age. We don't know why the Earth's temperature fluctuates as much as it has. I have my theories. I'll be happy to give you mine. It has to do with the very peculiar distribution of continents and mountains that has evolved over, say, the last 30 million years or so, that allows for much more mixing of air from the poles with air from the tropics over land surfaces. So the temperature contrasts that you see are much greater than they may have been over much of prehistory, and that predisposes continents to getting pretty white in the winter, which means that the Earth's reflectivity becomes very, very dynamic, and it's possible to get into a negative feedback loop where you can make it whiter and whiter and whiter and whiter until you have an ice age.
So what is the problem? I mean, what's wrong with the media these days?
Well, I think I just accused you of not being current with the literature and not being very critical. And it's everywhere, okay? It's the New York Times has got real problems with this issue. The Washington Post has got real problems with this issue. Very serious problems with their reporting on it. They don't seem to, in college we're taught to look at context of things. They totally ignore the context of the issue of climate change and how it must, of necessity, be mired in the political process. A, because it costs a lot of money to do this work, and B, because it entails a lot of people thinking up a lot of policies, which means there's a lot of power at stake. Anybody who thinks this issue is functioning in a value-free environment is hopelessly naive.
Well, let's talk about energy. There is, of course, a strong correlation between CO2 concentration and the burning of fossil fuels and our consumption of energy.
Absolutely.
And, of course, at some point, oil will run out.
You ever heard of something called supply and demand? I mean, I think your argument would also be that diamonds will run out, too. It takes a long time because the price gets higher as the supply gets lower, or else new sources are exploited. There's a very large amount of oil available in the tar sands in Alberta and Canada, dwarfs what's underneath Saudi Arabia. And at $50 a barrel for oil, it becomes economically feasible to exploit that stuff.
Okay. We've been listening to an interview with, what's his name?
Michael?
Patrick
Michaels?
Patrick Michaels on Grox Berkeley radio with somebody. I don't know why we were listening to it.
Some college kid that got pummeled.
Okay. We are now deep into the second hour of the show. In the studio, we have Heath Dill.
Hello, Paul.
We have Chris Dickens, who's reading a book.
In this way, television serves to continue the same... sorry.
This is a segment of the show we like to call Random Sentence. 5 years.
What?
4 score.
Okay.
Don't know what's going on.
Let's
Are we discussing one of these topics, or are we just moving on to the next one?
I mean, we could discuss, what just happened.
What just happened?
The guy with the global warming.
Yeah.
I mean, what's there to discuss? I wouldn't really want to get into it with him.
I wouldn't either.
He seems to know more about it. I kind of agree with...
I think they both knew more about it than me.
I wrote a paper one time on global warming, and I think I used a lot of that guy's research. But I don't know. It just was very familiar. Like... the research I used said, number one, human activity isn't causing a warming on the planet. Number two, if it were causing a warming, it would only be a good thing. And
what is that's the part I don't understand, is what is causing the warming?
We've only been...
Are we supposedly getting closer to the sun, or...
Well, we've only been studying temperatures for 100 years.
Only in the summer.
Okay, yeah.
And one of the thoughts is that there is more concrete around the thermometers than there were 100 years ago. So the thermometers are hotter. Mm-hmm. Okay, then now we've got satellite imaging, picture taking, temperature taking, and it shows a slight increase. So now we can say over the past 20 years, maybe there's been a slight increase. Well, in 20 years.
But the difference is that perhaps the accuracy has gotten more.
Yeah, but if there's an like
over the past 100 years,
like it would be if you were to show me, in a planet that has a lifespan or is such as ours, and you were to show me the average temperatures for it over any 20 or 30 year period, I would be surprised if they didn't go up or down. Mm-hmm. I'd be surprised if they were exactly the same because, this winter isn't the same as last winter. Things go up and down. Right. To take a few years and say blah blah blah. But on the other hand, I don't know. I really don't know much about it, and I didn't when I wrote that paper.
Are your school papers still up on your site, Paul?
Ooh, no, I don't think they are.
Oh. That was an interesting part of your site. I meant to read them all.
I think that one was.
I think they disappeared before I could.
Why did I?
In other words, I just asked a question I knew the answer to. My point is, you should put them back.
Hey, there they are. Okay.
They're still there. There's just no link to them.
Yeah, and I don't have that paper.
Maybe you could get the link to...
It is at rockmessiah.com/papers.
That's easy to remember.
I've got my 2004 taxes. I've got some history about my last name. I've got a paper I wrote called More Popular Than Jesus, an attempt to de-alter the television, which dovetails nicely with our one topic.
I was just reading this book. I'm almost done.
That was really fast.
And this book by Jerry Mander, 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television. And one interesting point he makes is that television is not relaxing because your mind is working, to process all the images and things that you're receiving from the television. So your mind can't really recoup in the same way that after you have a nice run, you sit down and your body doesn't do anything. Because your mind's not really emptying itself of anything.
It's filling itself up.
Yeah. So you're still kind of, your mind's just as tired after you're finished watching TV. So the common misconception is that television is relaxing, according to Jerry Mander.
Okay, according to Paul Gubbins, let me read a few excerpts here. Okay, from one of my many papers on television. A little less than 300 years after the introduction of Christianity through the joint efforts of Jesus Christ and St. Paul, it was adopted as the state religion of the known world, Rome. It had become such a powerful force that Constantine could not persecute it or ignore it any longer. The contagiousness of this is a really badly written paper. I'm going to stop there.
Well, what's the main point of your paper?
What's the title?
It's okay. Disclaimer, and I generally don't do disclaimers, but I am reading my own work here. It's a badly written paper, which I knew when I wrote it.
It started off well when you hit contagiousness.
I know. I wrote badly written papers, while I was in college. That was part of my charm. The contagiousness of the major world religions is a testimony to their cultural influence.
That's not so bad.
It is, though, when you think about it.
I'm not thinking about it.
My
mind's relaxing.
They each individually are a worldview, a medium for viewing reality. And this is the worst sentence out of the whole paper. For some reason, I had to include some sort of... I think I just needed an extra sentence. Nothing portrays us better than the rose-colored glasses that John Smith wore while reading the mysterious lost Mormon scriptures.
I didn't even know he wore glasses.
A new medium for viewing the world has spread in the last 50 years to nearly every corner of the earth. No religion, philosophy, or even plague, which also alters worldview and spreads rapidly, ever conquered the human population so quickly and entirely. This medium is the television. Wait, okay.
Dum, dum, dum.
It is not an abstract concept that alters an individual's perception of reality, but a physical device that delivers a visual and auditory reality. The television constantly spews information.
It does sort of spew it.
Yeah, it does. A recent Neiman report asserts that massive amounts of information presented by the television actually changes the nature of knowledge. Nearly 50 years ago, T.S. Eliot said, "Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information?" The television has so quickly become a standard human feature that most viewers have yet to realize what T.S. Eliot did, that the control of information is control of knowledge. For the television viewer, his or her understanding of knowledge and reality is directly related to what the media corporations want it to be.
Can I just say
a little
that
bit of a radical?
Paul Gubbin doesn't own a TV, and that makes him better than you.
I do not. I do have the capability of tuning in a television station. It requires some assembly on my part, and I have not done it for a long time. Thank you.
And that makes him better than you.
And that makes me better than you.
I have a very large television, but I only watch DVDs on it, and occasionally Arrested Development, which is a mind-numbing show that I It's relaxing, really.
Is it a sitcom? A situation
Not really.
comedy?
It's sort of a... I mean, it is... I guess it is, but it's a new kind of sitcom.
Isn't it the,
which means it's
impromptu?
actually funnier. No, you're thinking of...
Survivor?
You're thinking of Survivor. No, this has actual actors.
Yeah, but it's impromptu, isn't it?
No, it's not at all.
It's
scripted. Yes, like this radio program. Which is probably obvious.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay. I'll go ahead and read this whole article. Why not?
I thought you did.
No, I mean, I've got another couple pages.
Oh, my God.
How much time do we have?
We got all the time in the world now that I'm reading my own works here.
I'm gonna go ahead and leave. I have some studying to do.
Do you?
Yeah, I was really just dropping a drill off. But I got to study for a midterm. But, you can continue.
Okay.
with your
Well,
paper.
hold on.
I don't mean to interrupt the flow.
Me, I'm going to go ahead and skip to the end here. Okay. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah.
And therefore...
That's a bad sentence.
Okay.
your
So if you wonder why all of a sudden, in the past 50 years, the world has become excessively filled with violence and belligerent politicians, the answer, I believe, can be found in what we call the world. We call it TV.
So, over the past 50 years,
Very
the
cryptic.
world has become very violent and...
But it hasn't,
No, it's...
Just the television has.
Yeah.
I mean, do I know violence,
I mean, I don't know. That statement was kind of like, I don't know. There was lots of wars back in the day of Jesus Christ, as far...
I think he was being somewhat facetious there, right? I mean, you were kind of saying the world hasn't really become more violent. We just think it has.
Yes.
Because of television.
Like, we perceive the world as being more violent. Like, what the world? What has happened? Well, we all watch, not all of us, but the thing. I got one paper here that's just called Rational Thought.
and this is where I leave.
It's a really bad paper, and this professor actually, I think, read it to the class, and I couldn't believe that she would read such a poor paper to the class. I think it was probably like the best paper that had ever been written.
Was this at USI?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
Where you can just string together random words.
Yeah. I'm going to miss that. I got to go.
Okay.
I'll see you.
Nice seeing you, Chris.
All right. It was great to be on the program, etc., etc.
Okay. See you later.
Your drill's right there.
Okay. Well, okay, we're well into the second hour. We ought to do we need to do another song to regroup.
We're going to call one more person. I say we just... Do you have Kevin Porton's number? You gotta just try to call him.
Riding down the highway, mountains move so slow, laying back, Johnny Cash on the radio. I seen every coastline, I swam every shore, but I ain't been since 1984. Take it easy on me, take it slow, take it everywhere you go. 'Cause it's still easy living anymore, but I ain't easy anymore. Rings of fireworks way up in the air. I don't care, sit and stare, I've seen them everywhere. When I get to heaven, tell you what I'll do. Stomp around on the clouds and make some rain for you. So take it easy on me, take it slow, take it everywhere you go. Now it's the easy living anymore, but I ain't easy anymore. No, I ain't easy anymore.
Hello, we're back, and we're gonna try to call our old friend Mike Lyrely. Okay, well, that didn't work. You're not on? You don't hear anything?
Do you hear me?
There you go.
Breaker 19. This is Big Jimmy Smith coming at you.
Can you hear yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's nice.
Okay, this is a segment of the show. We're going to try to call Mike Lyrely on the air. Go ahead and just do it. We'll have the awkward ringing and...
Can you dig it?
Maybe we'll get some background music to play.
Paul, by the way...
Is $5.62. Please enter the phone number you wish to reach.
They tell you how much it's going to cost before you call them?
Yes.
That's nice.
You have 193 minutes.
I'm so confused right now.
Phone is ringing.
Hi, you've reached Michael Lyrely, the tallest man in the world. Please leave your message after the tone.
Hello, Michael. This is Paul Gubbins with the Paul Gubbins Show from the basement. And we're streaming live tonight. And we thought we'd try to give you a call. And to no avail. Hey, we had another listener and they quit listening. Well, it's in other news. Thanks for not being there, I guess, when we needed you most. Talk to you later. See you later. Okay, that failed. We check in on Dave Southwick again.
Dave Southwick.
He was the one. Have you heard the show where he's on the Jersey Transit?
Oh, I was on that show. Okay. Is he the art dealer?
Sorry, you must first on.
The art handler, yes.
Art, yeah, okay.
We'll try calling him.
leave it to you, Paul, to correct my understanding of what he is.
Your balance is $5.
Okay, I'll dial the number here.
Would you rather deal or handle?
Okay.
You have 192 minutes.
Thank you.
It's 9:35 in New York.
That's where he is?
Yes.
New York?
Unless he's still on the Jersey Transit. Unless he's still on the Jersey Transit.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
David Southwick.
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hello, Dave. This is Paul Gubbins from the Paul Gubbins Show, and we're just calling in, follow up, check on you after your trip on the Jersey Transit, and that music means that it's time for us to go. That music doesn't really mean anything.
You know what I think would be really funny, Paul, is that since we were calling a guy in New York that had kind of a Bronxy type of
music?
No, just like the lady that was on there, whoever she is, she may be just a computer recording for all I know. But I don't know, it'd just be hilarious, I think, if they had somebody for that type of thing. That,
they had regional operators?
Yeah, it's just like, well, thanks for your call. We really appreciate it.
That would be funny.
Something, I mean, just because I'm sure if you call somebody in Spain and you get a hold of their voicemail, they're going to speak Spanish.
That's true.
And since we have just such a cesspool of people in America, I just think it'd be, interesting to have it kind of vocally. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe people understand.
Okay. Well, I think that we've had a long show. That maybe it's time to let the show fizzle out here at the end. We'll try to have another show before too long, the Paul Gubbins Show in the basement, but we're gonna end it. We're gonna play some music unless there's any in-studio protests to that.
Paul don't want to talk to me. He just wants to talk to you. Okay. I'm here for moral support.
Okay.
I'm a warm body in a cold basement.
This last song we'll leave you with is it's me, Jim Yates, and Bonnie Montgomery singing Folsom Prison Blues.
Time keeps dragging on. Well, I hear the train coming on down to San and I was just a baby. Mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns. Though I shot a man in Rio just to watch him die. When I hear that train coming, I hang my head and I cry. I bet there's rich folks living in a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. I know street. Those people. That's what it tortures me. I did it when the train come, rolling around the bend. I ain't seen that sunshine. Don't know when. But that train keeps on rolling. On down to Amarillo, Texas. I was just a baby. My mama told me, son, always be a good boy and don't ever lay with guns. So I shot that